Clinton Miner here from Sawtooth Bushcraft. I want to start a little series of videos concerning different ways you can heat up and even cook meals on the trail or in an emergency situation. And we're going to start with the one that I started with, and that is the Aspen Stove. A little apparatus I purchased probably almost 40 years ago for the first time. It is something that the Germans came up with. Obviously, they know what they're doing with this. Something that there are a number of different kinds of fuel for. We'll be discussing that, so stay tuned. So here we are back at the tailgate. Just wanted to share with you, when I was a young married man, didn't have any money, wanted to have something I could carry with me while I was on the trail, I found these Esbit stoves. What happens with these is it's a very inexpensive. These cost anywhere between about $5 and $10–12. You can buy the brand new ones for about $12.99. This particular configuration. They have another one, and I'll put a picture up right here, that is a little different configuration that includes a little wall that goes right here that allows you to put that so that there's a wind block, because sometimes when you get the wind blowing through here, you're losing some of the value of your heating element. So what this is, just a little box. Conveniently, you can store some of the actual fuel in it. This is a trioxane Army surplus pellet. There are a number of other options that frankly maybe even a little bit better. You can put 2 or 3 of these in here, and that's plenty to boil a cup of water. One of the nice things about these is, depending on how large your cup is, this Esbit can be opened only part way, create this kind of teepee or tent looking configuration, and put your cup on top of it, so like that. Or if you've got a bigger cup or a bigger pot, you can do that. But I typically will just simply set it up at that 3/4 level like that, or halfway level like that. And what I started out with, really quite literally, was a cup like this that I bought at the dollar store. One of these and a box of these, and that's what I would carry with me on the trail. And I've even been in situations where one day I ran out of water completely. I was a long ways up in the mountains, and I was really dry. I found a little spring, but in the area where I hunt and hike, I am suspect of the water, and so I filled my cup with spring water, got a little fire going, waited until it boiled, let it boil for a little bit, and then felt comfortable drinking it, didn't have any problems. And I can tell you that water tasted awful good. So what I have here, I want to just kind of go through and explain what I've placed here. These Canteen Cups, if you carry an old military style canteen for your water, these are fantastic because they fit right down on the bottom of your canteen bag. You put the canteen right in them. I typically put a bandana in there so I've got something to keep that from rattling, and also to keep it so that I've got something to strain with. You can cook in these. You can certainly heat water in them. Work really well. There's this style with the handle that folds up. This one's seen a little better days, but that handle just folds right underneath and goes right in your canteen bag. This is a little different style. It has wing handles, and you see here I've also got a lid for it. So nice little setup. If you're carrying a military style canteen, you really need to get yourself one of those. If you look right here, I purchased this one at the Youth Ranch, which is the local thrift store, for 99 cents. Watch for these kinds of things. People get them and then rotate them out. Another option, when I felt pretty flush, I moved from this stainless steel cup type situation that I bought at the dollar store up to an enamel cup, and these work really well because they're easy to clean, and just they look classic too. That's a great situation. Ultimately, I've been able to upgrade to a titanium cup or a titanium pot with the same wing handles. I carry single wall stainless steel water bottle so that I can put it right in the fire if I need to. This is really nice, super light, super strong, and holds up well. And again, just like this, fits perfectly on that Esbit. So great little setup. Now I've got the Esbit. I have been able to purchase another one, Natit, which is, I think this is military surplus. It is the same exactly like the Esbit. In fact, I think it's probably made by the same company, one for the military, one for not. You can see that it actually has a box of their hexamine tablets in it. I found that when I bought these, they all had this, and I thought that was quite the deal. I've had a hard time lighting those hexamine tablets. I think they're old, and a lot of the gas that's in there, the actual flammable material that's in there, got its way out of there. Like I said, I've always used these trioxine tablets. When we first started buying, actually those aren't trioxine. When I first started buying trioxine tablets, and we're going to open this up, we'll open up a hexamine as well, and a diethylene glycerol tablet. But when I first started buying these, they were 3 times this size. It was a long tablet that was scored so you could break it into 3 pieces. They started just making them smaller. I think these came out during Vietnam as a way to heat their sea rations, their canned rations. The Germans came up with these outfits with the hexamine. This is a cheaper version that I've been able to find, and I'm going to put some links to where I bought these. This came from our Army surplus store in Shelley, Idaho, over by Idaho Falls, Idaho, and they've got a great website where you can purchase stuff. There's no connection with me. It's just one of my favorite places to shop. These are very inexpensive. They aren't quite as fit. You can see that it's quite loose. It will work, but it's very hard to get it in that 3/4 position. And so, you know, you've about got to set it up full set, and that's really too big for that. I think it will work with a military canteen cup. Just not as stable, you can see. So it'll work, and very inexpensive, and again, something that you can carry with you. I think I could probably bend that metal around and get it a little tighter and make it so that it stands a little better, but that's another option. I would highly recommend that you get the actual original Esbit. I again will put a link. They have them at the Army Navy store, or at the Army store in eastern Idaho. I'll go ahead and put a link to Amazon. Again, in this situation, I'm not making anything off from these, just sharing these ideas with you. You can buy these hexamine tablets. These I've had around for quite a long time. They weren't terribly expensive. I'm not sure that they'll still work. I probably have had them for 8 or 10 years, and I'm a little suspect of those. Why would I carry this? I can't really cook a full meal for it. Clearly, though, I can heat enough water to put into a Mountain House meal. Again, the Mountain House meal is the titanium level of expense. But you see here on the tailgate with me some of the things I've carried over the years. Bullion tablets really can make a difference, especially if you're having to drink something warm, trying to get warm, or because it's you don't have time to let the water cool after you've boiled it for purification. A Bullion tablet turns that into some broth and really makes a difference, and I really like the Core brand. This last year, I sat under a tree for lunch, heated up a couple cups of water in this, threw in some of these mashed potatoes and whipped that up, and wow, was that a good meal. Made a huge difference. These are like between $1 and $2 a piece. Make a great meal. These are poor man options. Obviously, there's always the cup of noodle. Throw one of these in your backpack when it's time. You heat up the water, throw it in there, let it sit for a few minutes, and you've got a great bowl of ramen for you. And finally, this is what I carried early on in my process, and that's cup of soup. It's just a little envelope of chicken noodle soup that you simply throw in the boiled water or the hot water, and then you've got something to eat. So All of that being the case, great option for carrying on the trail. Even at $14 with this, very small, something literally that you can put some of the trioxane tablets in, throw it in your back pocket, carry it with you on the trail, and you know you've got something to heat some water up. If you've got a metal cup, either a Canteen Cup or one of these other options, you're in great shape. I really like the lid, but even without a lid, you don't have a lot of issues going on here. So, always being prepared makes a huge difference in your life. Being prepared on the trail to have a hot meal on a cool day, to be able to process some water on a hot day when you need that water in a very quick way, very low profile, and assured regardless of the weather. A little Esbit stove is something that I highly recommend. And that being prepared is the key, as we say at Sawtooth Bushcraft. If you're prepared, you're never really lost.